What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here. In this one, we have an absolutely awesome one here. We're going to be going over not just a really powerful strategy in the market, but this is one that I use every single day, every single week, and is part of the overall core methodology of what my actual trading systems are based on. So, I have a couple announcements before we go through there, guys. Again, you guys all know the deal at this point. The only way to access all of my education, the 3 times private live streams per week, the watch list of stocks that are about to explode, that link for that wait list is going to be down below here. The reason why I waitlisted everybody is obviously I want to make sure that each and every single one of you guys that is hopping in has the attention that you guys need in order to really build that core foundation up, because of how powerful these strategies are once you end up understanding them. Now, I'm also going to do something else for you guys in this video here too. If you guys are able to get this video here up to 200 likes by the end of this week and comment down below, I'm going to pick one of you guys in the comment section and let you into both of my educational course series here, the private live streams, the watch list, the list of stocks that are about to explode before they do. So all you have to do, like the video and drop a comment down below to be selected. So let's get into it here, kind of go through the strategy and make sure that we can kind of give you guys that first step understanding of exactly what this is. So when we move over here, obviously I have another PowerPoint prepared for you guys. Most profitable trading strategy. I love this strategy here, guys. It has worked for 50, 100 years, and it's going to continue to work. All right. The first thing that we need to understand is that this is not day trading. So I know a lot of people, when they come into the market, really want to focus on day trading because they see a lot of these people on social media doing it. They have these fancy fake watches, they have the rented cars, and that's the kind of lifestyle that you guys want to have. Guys, watching those types of lifestyle videos, it's not going to make you a better trader. So let's kind of focus in on exactly what trading is, give you guys this understanding. We do this a lot in some of these videos, but it's incredibly important to making sure that you guys are going to be able to have those tools to have long-term success. So obviously day trading is going to have a decreased margin for error for beginners, meaning that it's a lot easier to make greater mistakes. Now, it's also very easy to go on tilt because if you're going to see, let's say, a 1, 5, or 15-minute candle throughout the day and you're going to be looking for some sort of setup, well, on an intraday basis, it's going to be a lot easier for either those setups to actually form or you to start to try and see setups that are not actually there. Now, when that happens, that is where you make the most amount of mistakes and lose money in the market. If you think about swing trading off of the daily timeframes and you're only, let's say, risking about 1% per trade, well, it is theoretically impossible for you to have 100 setups form in a day, then have all 100 of those setups fail while also risking 1% of your account and then blow your account in a day. With day trading, you can easily go in and out, losing trades, and go on tilt and lose a significant portion of your money, which nobody wants for anybody. Higher stress moves due to speed that is also going to be coming in day trading as well, versus swing trading. It's a lot slower in terms of just looking at the charts. When you're looking at a daily candle too versus, let's say, a 1, 5, or 15-minute candle when you're day trading, well, there's going to be a lot more data within that daily candle, so you can have a little bit more confidence in that move. And also having this long-term vision versus trying to get rich in a day. That is the vast majority of the reasons why I see a lot of people kind of try and get into day trading versus swing trading. And again, guys, this is not to say that day trading is bad at all. I day trade. I have a lot of strategies for day trading. But in order to make sure that you're setting yourself up and building those core foundational principles to have success as a trader over the long term, you probably should slow things down at the start. And let's get into a really awesome strategy that's going to help you out for this. But I want to walk you guys through all of this. Thinking about trading in a different way is going to enable you guys to have better success. So you got to think about trading and trading systems like a math equation, and that we need to solve and identify and isolate some of these different variables to put ourselves in the best position to have success. Now, there's a few main pillars in some of those variables that we can isolate to actually just identify them and then create good environments for us to go into the market and then take advantage of the opportunities that the market gives us without focusing on any of this other nonsense that can distract us and detract from our long-term performance. So first, we obviously need to be looking for larger moves. If you have a smaller account and you want to try and grow that account over time, it's going to be in your best interest to look for larger moves in the market. Can you catch them day trading? Yes. Is it a lot easier to catch them on a daily time frame with swing trading? Absolutely. The second thing here is larger moves are also going to lead to, a lot of the time, higher risk to reward, which also gives you higher margin for error. If you have a day trading strategy that is going to give you a 1-to-1 risk to reward every single time, it means that you need to win over 50% of your trades in order to be profitable. Let's say that you were trading, let's just say a swing trading strategy with a 1-to-4 risk to reward. That means you only need to win at least a little bit over 20% of your trades in order to make money over time. So the margin for error increases. So those normal just mistakes that people are going to go through in their everyday trading journey become a lot less significant in the long term if you can focus on those larger time frames and those larger moves. Now, 3, we also need to be very picky in regards to which trades we are actually going to take. Now, the core of what I teach you guys all the time and why I make these videos is under the methodology of less trades, more profits. Taking more trades in the market is not a correlating factor to how much money you're going to make over the long run. Let's just do an example. If you could take one trade in a month, let's just use a crazy example, that could let your account go up 20% in a month, that'd be great. Why would we want to sit here all of the time when a lot of the people watching these types of videos want that time freedom that everybody thinks can come with trading? If you're going to sit there and watch every single 1-minute candle, you don't have any freedom. You just given yourself a new job. So guys, there's a lot of different swing trading strategies in there. Some people are going to try to time bottoms, time tops, use trend lines, go along with trends. There's a lot of different ways to do it. What I like to do is I like to look for stocks that are about to explode, but identify them before that happens. For those of you guys that used to be on my live streams all of the time when I used to do them publicly for you guys every single day, you would see a lot of people coming into the market, and there would be a stock that would open up 10, 15, 20%, and there'd be a lot of people in the live chat talking about that stock. Now, what did we see play out time and time again? Well, those stocks would go up. Those individuals coming into the live chat would buy the top because they would chase those moves, and then they would end up consistently losing money when we would be sitting here saying, hey, it's probably going to be a lot better for you over the long term to be able to identify those stocks before they happen, because there are some very, very repeatable patterns that do end up showing up that we can then identify. So let's take a look at some charts here. Let's go through exactly how I do this on a day-to-day basis, and then how we can identify this for you guys when you are operating in the market. So this is going to be the first ticker that we're going to look at, and this is BBY. Now, those of you guys that follow me on my new Twitter account at shortthevix.info, which you guys all should, we were highlighting this one on Sunday. Now, today's Monday, the day that I'm recording this. Now, what are we actually looking for out of this stock here? Well, the look that these stocks start to give when they are about to explode before they do is a lot of the time they're going to move up, they're going to move flat, and then they are going to continue to go up again. So when people in my everyday life are going to come up to me and ask me what, like, they know that I trade and how do I explain it to them in the most simplest form possible. I'm being honest here. This is exactly what I say. And I try to dumb it down even more. Stock go up, stock go flat, stock start going up again, you buy it. Very, very simple. It does get a little bit more complicated than that, but let's actually take a look at this. So stocks in general like to move in stair steps. You see this play out time and time again. So our only job as traders, in this EMA right here, this blue line is a 10 EMA. This is my favorite one to use. And this is also what I like to use when I call it front running. You could just say getting in early. I didn't end up doing that on this trade here, but again, is another proof of concept before we start taking a look at some of the other trades that we were actually in, and I gave you guys on those watch lists of stocks that are about to explode before they do. So BBY starts to move up. It's extended a little bit away from these EMAs here, and then starts to slowly converge back and consolidate right around this 10 EMA. So what I was looking for was a potential break of 84, but I was really going to be interested in this break of 89 or this 90 area. Now, what we ended up seeing this morning is a pretty significant gap up from close of about, I believe it was about 4%. Yeah, so, well, in this example here, it's 3.36%. In the green was what BBY ended up opening at. So let's kind of go through exactly how I would have traded this if it didn't end up doing this. Actually, it's probably better to use a different example, but this just goes to show a really good example of stock starts to move up, starts to move flat again, and then it continues on that trend after a period of consolidation. Now, obviously, in the course videos, we break this down a lot more, but I want to make sure that you guys have an introduction to these types of strategies to make sure that you are, like, when I post these things on Twitter, that it makes sense for you guys when we're going through and looking at these things so you're not going in blind. Now, GM is a really, really good example here of this. So GM, again, there's a couple of different things in mind that we can take a look at on this chart. So GM had made a pretty significant move to the upside and was kind of chopping around here. Kind of sold back off, then kind of came to the upside here and started consolidating into this 10 EMA. Now, what do we see up in here? Well, we have a very, very clear area of resistance that is also basically just lining right up with this candle high right here, and that was where I was looking to take this trade to the upside. So if I was trading shares, this is exactly what this trade would look like here. We had an entry right here. Our stop is going to go below this day low. We ride it up to this first take profit here, which was about, I believe it was a 1 to 3. Yeah, 1 to 3 risk to reward here, and then are hunting those further profit targets to the upside. Now, I also like to trade a lot of options too. So what I like to do is when I'm mapping this out here, again, this one was a little bit more difficult because these levels were very, very significantly far away. That's usually what we're going to be targeting, previous levels of resistance. So looking at this chart here, and when I'm getting my options, what I like to do is I like to have multiple take profits along the way. And when I'm looking for my strikes, I typically like to get my expirations about 2 weeks away. That's usually where my sweet spot is. Can you go with really shorter dated contracts? Yes, but as I always like to talk about, no matter what, when we're trading with options, we always want to be sizing for zero. Because think about it like this. If you only want to have 1% risk in a trade, and you had, let's say, a $10,000 trading account, and you risk, well, you want to risk 1%, well, you're only going to be putting $100 into that trade. Now, what happens if it goes up 3, 4, 500%? In the example of GM, these contracts ended up going up about 300%. Now, that means that you turned 1% of your account into about 3 or 4% of your account. So that's the gain. You risked 1, you made 4. That is absolutely awesome. Now, if that trade were to have gone in the other direction and this were to have lost, well, you would only have about 1% total risk on that trade. That is something very, very important. So we were able to ride this thing up. I was able to make these contracts free when they were up over 100% and then continue riding and ended up cutting these as this thing started to move to the downside on this day here. Now, let's take a look at another one. Netflix, we have done some really, really great work on Netflix recently. Now, what I've shown you guys in the first 2 examples are really clean, perfect examples. Now, there are going to be in some instances that do not look as perfect as others, and that's kind of where I come in with the watch list and the education that I provide you guys. But for those of you guys that are new, try and look for those very, very easy to identify up, flat, converges into the EMA, and then breaks back to the upside. Those are going to be those A+ high quality setups. Now, going back to Netflix here, this was pretty high quality here. I actually remember this trade. I was sitting at my sister's college graduation, and after I had entered this on the stream with you guys in that morning, this one went absolutely nuts to the upside, targeting this level right here as my first target, 639 from the entry right around 624. This was an absolutely epic one. And then last week, we were able to identify this one for all of you. So this is a period of consolidation here, but it is not perfect. But with what we see on Netflix here is it's really trading pretty close to these highs that we see up above. So we're going to be using some of those for our targets. Now, obviously, it hasn't gotten all the way there yet, but with these levels of resistance that we see overhead, if Netflix can break, especially with our current market conditions, which we talk a lot about in those educational videos there within that course curriculum, those overall market conditions and where things are starting to move, the flow of money, the interest rate environments, things like that are very helpful to us. So I ended up taking this Netflix trade on the break of this right here, this 655, and Netflix just went absolutely nuts to the upside. So this to me is going to look a little bit more like a B or a B- setup. So I wasn't sized as aggressively for this one, but these were still very, very significant gains of over 200%. I believe these ended up running around 300% as well, but this trade ended up continuing. So if I wanted to hold this even more, I would have been able to. So again, when we're looking at swings, guys, they're going to slow things a lot down for you. You're going to not have the ability to go on tilt and risk way more than you need to on a day-to-day basis. And obviously, I don't know if I said this before in this little last part of the video here, but that overall risk to reward is going to be more beneficial to you long-term than trying to trade these 1-to-1, 1-to-1.5 strategies, because that margin for error for you guys is so low. So when we're looking at stocks here, and this is something that people are confused by. So if you've made it all the way through to this point in the video right now, shout out to you guys. I still answer questions about this. What we need to look for when we are looking for a stock that is about to explode before it's actually going to is this right here. It moves up, it moves flat and consolidates, starts to hang around these EMAs, and starts breaking those prior levels of resistance to the upside. You see it on BBY, you see it on GM. You can actually see it on that other trade that we matched up with GM. This Ford trade here, again, wasn't as clean, but I was in this one as well. I ended up selling it on the next day here after taking profits over 100% when we started to see this trade move to the upside. So when you guys see these stocks starting to set up, you can let me know, you can back test them, you can paper trade them, but looking for stocks in this way, guys, is going to be incredibly beneficial to you over the long term. Now, if this is a little confusing to you and you want basically me to do all the work when I go through all those 3,000-4,000 stocks every single weekend, we talk through these on the streams, and we go a lot more detail, obviously, into this strategy here in the Swing Kings course that I have for you guys. Again, it's waitlisted right now. I might be opening some spots up pretty soon, but make sure you guys hop on that waitlist so you're notified when I am opening up some spots. So that's kind of the core of the strategy, guys. It's incredibly, incredibly powerful once you understand it and honestly, how to implement it for yourselves in the market every single week and month. And again, as always, guys, if you guys have any questions on anything, make sure you guys drop a comment down below. That's what I'm here for. And other than that, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.